Hey everybody, this is Jeff here once again, just bringing another update on the progress of this TOS 1/350th scale Polar Lights Enterprise. And what we've got here is a lot of work going on as far as the lighting and the saucer goes, which is pretty much, it's all done. All the lighting is done, all the wiring is done and everything. Just want to get, a little bit more soldering going on some of the wires, and after that, some hot glue, which is sitting right here, waiting to be put on some of those wires to keep those battened down and everything, so that when I go to close this saucer, after there's some glue on there, I will have no issues getting it together. So as you can see here, we've got one nacelle back there. It is nice and on and going. The other one, I had a little issue with the Bassar collector. When I've gone through, I was installing it onto the ship and had wired everything up, had it soldered, had it heat shrink. Then I went to plug it in to make sure that everything was working. And unlike that one right there, which was working just fine, the Bassar collector on there was not working at all. So I had to take this nacelle back apart and take a look at what was going on with the lighting, and sure enough, there was a little bit of short going on right there. And as the funniest thing too, I had test fit this nacelle, tested the lighting and wiring 100 times over before I had even gone to place it on the ship. And then once I get it on the ship, it's not working. Very, very weird, but things like that do happen. So we're glad that actually did happen when it did, and not later on after everything's said and it's nice painted, decaled, and sitting there looking pretty. Then have to go through and get it back off. And also as well, glad that happened before some glue got on that as well, because that would have been a little bit difficult getting that taken off. So fortune is always there, and glad it was there when it was. So but let me see, I said though with the other nacelle though is looking nice. Plugging that motor real quick, and I'm figuring out too why that sounds so loud on here. The microphones for this camera is right here on the front, so that's why it always seems like that's just very, very loud. It's not just that loud in person. Now they are a bit noisy and everything, but because of the size and of the ones that I have in there, because this is not a bought light kit, this is all done by me, I had to go with what I had, so made it work. It still looks great. The spinning effect really, really looks cool. Unplug that. I live with that sound in order to get the accurate fan, spinning fan blade look on the front end of this kit. I will sacrifice with the sound in order to get that look, because that's what it was, what it has, that's what I want it, and we have got it, and it looks very, very cool. And the lighting on the Bassar collector is also looking a whole lot better too, since I toned that down as well. I believe I stated in the earlier video that I had placed a 180 ohm resistor on the end of that with all of them tied through together, versus leaving it as bright as it was, so that actually helped out. Have a little bit of light shine right here, but not very much. And going back through here, we'll go through and take a look here underneath the saucer. So let me get that pulled up. Let me get my felt here and throw it over the back of this engine right here, so that I'm not scratching up anything too much. And if I can do this with one hand, it is a rather big ship, so get that pulled off, get that back. And as you can see here, lighting on the interior of the saucer, got that, up here in the top as well, all those lights working. Even though they give 4 pads up here for the lighting, it really only takes 3. It only takes 3, and it lights up all these windows. And even with the wires where they are and everything, they're still not blocking any light going through those 3 windows back there. All of these windows, they're nice, they're even. Of course, it's going to look better underneath there once I get the ship together, and then get the primer on the interior of it as well for the light blocking. But as you can see there, I put the top back on it to show what that looks like, and it looks just fine. Absolutely just fine. Couldn't be happier with that. So what I was wanting to do was get another video out as far as the progress on this kit. And also with one issue that I did find with the nav lights, not necessarily down here, you know, the ones on the bottom of the saucer, those are fine. It's the ones that go on the top that were giving me the issue. And what that issue is that barely any lighting is coming out of those. I mean, barely at all. And that would be for, you know, these right here. And, you know, it's not lined up totally, so you can't see very much. Oh, right there you can. So, but as you can see there's some light that's coming through there. But because that hole is so small and the part that goes in there is so big and thick, you know, it's thick plastic that sticks in there, barely any light shines on that. And you think once you tint that with the red and the green, it's not really going to show up at all, and you really want that to show. So what I'm going to wind up doing is drilling that hole out much larger than what it is, almost to the size of the piece that's to go on there, so that I get plenty of light coming through there, because I want those red and green nav lights to just, you know, to light up just as well as everything else. So like I said, though, I was just wanting to get another update in here as to the progress, what I've done on the lighting as well. Before I forget to, I'm going to show you what I did do to get the BC deck area lit, because we're not putting the bridge in here. On the production version of this ship, there was no clear bridge. You know, the dome was not clear. It was just, you know, frosted white, and that's what I'm going to have as well. So, but what I did was I kind of had to build a little box to go in there. So you can see it right there. Trapezoid in shape, and got light strips on both sides to light the side windows. You can see those light strips in there. And then at 3mm light, I have a hole in the top to shine up through the bridge dome, and then I drilled one in the front so that I light those front windows right there. Or if you go with the animated series, those were upper phaser banks. We're gonna go with windows. But, you know, that was pretty interesting, and I had to think out of the box on how to get that taken care of, where I get enough lighting coming through there, because just having interior lighting working for that wasn't working too well. So it works. Those windows are nice and well lit, and the brightness of them is matching everything else, which is, it was so important for me, especially, you know, for the window lighting and everything. Go around here for the neck, those up underneath the bottom of the saucer, and, you know, down the engineering hull, and of course up the pylons, which was very, very cool. So there's our ion pod strobing back there. That is not a white light, those are UV lights that I have placed on there, and it's working very, very well. And, you know, of course, the shuttle bay with these lights down here as well, you know, that is bleed through from the interior, you know, through the kit piece. But it's looking very, very well. It cleaned, I got it clean very nicely as well. May have a little bit more work to do over here. But other than that, it's looking very, very cool. The floor of the shuttle bay right there is looking a little bit shiny, because I went over it like 1,000 grit sandpaper, and it buffed it out and everything and shined it up. So I'm gonna have to stick down through there as far as I can to get even more shine on there. I'm really liking that. Make sure I do that on the next build of this kit, which I know I'm gonna do. So what should be coming up next, of course, all of this work should be done. As you can see here, we got a light leak right there, because the shuttle bay door is not glued in as yet. I still have just a little bit of work to do, but I want to go ahead and get this saucer on there and get it together and get it all wired up and stuff, and get this other nacelle as well. And before I do go, do want to give shout out to everybody who's been watching the videos. I do appreciate it. You know, go through, leaving the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Be happy to answer, you know, let you know of anything and everything that I've done on this kit. And hopefully pretty soon I am over on the sci-fi model action board as well. I plan on doing, because I've been taking photographs of this kit during the build just as much as I have been videos, and, you know, post those as well, so we can show different photographs of what's been going on as far as this kit is concerned. So, but I will step away from now, and we'll go forth and work to get this saucer put together. As I always like saying, those of you out there building models, keep on building. Those of you who are not, pick up one and get started. I will continue to go forth and have fun on this kit. Hopefully, definitely by the next video, Salsa should be together, and possibly even prime it as well. Put it up and prime it as well. So I go forth and continue building. You guys have a wonderful day.